I'm attorney Gloria Allred. I represent the third alleged victim in the superseding indictment filed last week in the New York criminal case now pending against Harvey Weinstein. Mr. Weinstein is charged with a criminal sexual act in the first degree for a forcible sexual act alleged in 2006. The grand jury has also charged him with 2 counts of predatory sexual assault, which carries a minimum sentence of 10 years and a maximum sentence of life imprisonment if there is a conviction. After the superseding indictment was announced, Mr. Weinstein's lead defense attorney, Benjamin Brafman, was quoted by Deadline.com on July 2nd, 2018, as having stated, quote, "Mr. Weinstein will enter a plea of not guilty to the new charges. Mr. Weinstein maintains that all of these allegations are false, and he expects to be fully vindicated. Furthermore, to charge Mr. Weinstein as a predator when the interactions were each consensual is simply not justified," end quote. Mr. Brafman, I believe that you have a significant problem if your defense of your client, Mr. Weinstein, is that the alleged third victim consented. First, that is a question for the jury to decide. You were not there, and you cannot serve as a witness. Your argument is not evidence. You may simply be repeating what your client told you. If not, you may be just floating. One second. If not, you may be just floating a self-serving legal theory which you hope will gain traction. The jury may not consider it unless there's evidence to support it. In order to attempt to prove consent, you would need to call Mr. Weinstein to the witness stand to testify under oath. But then he would be subjected to what is likely to be a vigorous cross-examination by the prosecution. Are you really willing to have your client face the jury? Are you really willing to roll the dice and hope and pray that your client will be able to answer questions under oath, not only about this alleged third victim, but about other alleged victims as well? I doubt that you will take that risk, Mr. Brafman. My client will testify under oath at the trial. Mr. Brafman, are you ready to state unequivocally that Mr. Weinstein is ready to take the witness stand and testify as well? And I'll be happy to take a few questions.
Gloria, can you tell us any more details about alleged victim number 3? Anything that can shed some light on what happened?
I am not confirming the identity of the alleged victim number 3. I am confirming that I represent her. I am not providing her name, nor am I identifying her in any way.
Anything about the incident? Did it happen in New York? Did it happen at a hotel?
I have nothing to add about this alleged incident, other than what is alleged in the indictment. I have nothing to add to that. I will not be discussing any evidence that may exist in this case.
Mr. Brafman says that there is a lot of evidence, he says, that will prove that Harvey Weinstein is innocent of the charges against him. Your response to that?
Well, he will have an opportunity to present whatever evidence he thinks is relevant for the court to consider as to whether or not it should be admitted on the issue. So I'm not going to prejudge what he has or doesn't have.
you have any idea what it might be? What that evidence might be?
I'm not going to comment on what evidence exists, period.
Has your client indicated anything about a settlement, or would she like to go to trial?
It's up to the prosecutor and the defense as to whether or not there'll be a trial, whether or not there will be any kind of plea agreement. I can't speculate on what the future will bring.
When did she reach out to you?
Sorry, I couldn't hear your question.
When did the third client reach out to you?
I don't have any comment on when this alleged victim retained me to represent her, or when she contacted me.
Can you say if the alleged victim is a resident of New York?
The question was, can I say if the alleged victim that I represent is a resident of New York? I'm sorry, but I'm not willing to identify her or her residence in any way. She's not going to be giving any interviews, and she would like to retain her privacy. Any further? Thank you very much.